you asked the question initially, I thought you were referring to Revelation 13. That says those that bow down into the image. The mark, because this is all part of the image of the beast of Babylon the Great.
Because really, if you indulge in the Epicurean lifestyle, which is basically Western, is Babylonian. Yeah. The Greeks and Romans, they were heavy Epicureans. They were into pleasure. It was a pleasure-seeking dominion. America is pretty much that times 1,000 because of the luxury. So you can overindulge as long as you have the means, the money. You can here in Vegas, that's why they call it Sin City, right? You come out here and you can get access to any kind of drug. Anything, if you can afford it, you can do it.
Any sin,
like any desire.
Anything. Yeah.
Like if you want to get into some freaky shit, there's places you can go for that freaky shit. If you want to get high, there's places you can go to get high.
Yep.
This is a terrible fucking city.
Yep. Yep. You want to be an idolater, and every idol you can think of gets served over here.
So every corner got a church.
Yep.
Good enough?
Yep. Yeah, man. There's a little more in that? Go ahead.
And sorcerers and idlers.
Idolaters.
Idolaters.
Yep.
And all liars.
And all liars. See that?
Yep. It's, those that are twisting the doctrine, false prophets, because that's lying. That's not
false witness?
Yeah, bearing false witness. That's all part of lying, man. Because the scriptures give you the answer through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. You have one truth, man. So anything opposed to that truth is considered a lie. Hey, so even Israelites within the circumcision, man. They gotta take part of it as well. Saying that the MOTB is not the CHI to the P, that's a lie, man. Saying it's anything else rather than the charagma and going into that word stigma, you're lying, man. And the Lord has a judgment waiting for you. Because you have a lot of blood on your hands. It's gonna be just like when the 19 came. If your congregation or your leaders didn't tell you to keep the faith and not trust in Esau's madness, then you got pricked.
That was sorcery that was being done.
Exactly.
And you had Israelite leaders telling you to indulge in sorcery.
Yeah.
Literally.
Trust the sorcery.
They was telling them to trust in the science. Yeah. Their science is dealing with sorcery.
Gotcha.
And you literally had Israelite leaders of camps that was telling you to trust them. Go on and get it.
Yeah.
We're not cowards.
Yeah.
You ain't had crack. We lived through the crack. Bro. I ain't never had crack.
Bro.
Why are you even liking this to crack? Anyway.
You said, y'all take over-the-counter drugs.
Yeah, you can take this.
Yeah, your leader told you verbatim, I'm gonna take it to show y'all that it's okay to get taken, man. And then he got it. According to him, he probably didn't get it. And if he didn't, he just bamboozled you niggas, man. Right.
But the Lord saw that though.
Yeah, God.
Saw that lie.
Yeah.
Jeremiah the 5th chapter says the deeds of my people are more wicked than the deeds of
He said they overpass the deeds of the wicked.
They overpass the deeds of the wicked.
Yeah.
The wicked is Esau. So our people have deeds that overpass Esau's wickedness.
God, bro. God.
Hey, that would be the equivalent of in the Maccabees when they was telling him to eat the pork.
Yep.
And he maintained his integrity. But let's say he did eat the pork, not eat it, but portrayed to eat it. That would be the same thing. You didn't actually take the jab, but you just put on the portrayal that you did, so other Israelites can do it.
Yep.
That's wicked.
God.
That's a magician.
You're gonna be held accountable for those lies, man. You lying to masses, to the masses. And that blood is gonna go back on you. But like it says in Ezekiel 14, where it says if a prophet be deceived, how the Lord deceived that prophet. So that prophet, he's gonna be prone because there's a lying spirit on him. He's gonna be deceiving a lot of wicked Israelites, and him and those wicked Israelites that follow after him are gonna die. Hey, the Pope represents the false prophet, the Vatican. what this new pope? I believe there's something new that came out about how he's describing what marriage is. Let me see if I can pull it up. It was on Newsbreak. It says, the new pope makes bombshell statement on what marriage is ahead of installation. It says, Pope Leo the 14th has made a powerful statement on the Catholic Church's position on gay marriage and abortion, asserting that the Church's idea of family is based on a stable union between a man and a woman. Speaking to the Vatican Diplomatic Corps, which includes representatives from nearly 200 countries, ahead of his official installation Mass this Sunday, the Pope's comments were released by the Vatican, along with remarks from the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps. The Pope welcomed LGBTQ plus Catholics, but reiterated that homosexual acts are viewed as intrinsically disordered.
But he allowed them to be a part of his clergy, basically.
Right. According to church teachings, upholding the traditional doctrine that marriage is solely the union of a man and a woman. So, what it basically, he's saying that, yeah, the true marriage is between a man and a woman, but they still tolerating all the BS.
We accept you.
There's still a toleration with all these other abominations. What do the scriptures say about that? We ain't supposed to have respect of persons.
It's Romans 1:32, who knowing the judgment of Yahweh by
You gotta, don't just start from there. You know, just start up.
I'll start up at 23.
Now, this is Apostle
24.
Paul saying this, man.
Yeah, it's Romans 1:24.
The Pope ain't gonna never recite that.
It says, wherefore Yahweh also gave them up to uncleanness.
Why don't they admit that to these moles? That you're given unto an unclean spirit. You got a demon on you. You say that in the church now, you're a bigot. You know,
32.
they're gonna demonize you and get you up out of the church if you say that. But it's clearly an unclean spirit.
Can I read that in GMT?
Go ahead.
Romans 1 and what you at 25?
I read 23.
23 in the GMT. You want to read it in GMT?
I'll grab it. It's Romans 1.
You know, it's good to go in these other translations to break it down in layman's terms. You know, because
But you gotta know the spirit of it.
yeah, you got to
saying in the first, you can't learn necessarily, but you gotta already know what it's talking about.
Yeah.
To see if it makes sense.
right.
Yeah, it's Romans 1 and 20. I'm sorry, 22. In GNT, it says they say they are wise, but they are fools. Instead of worshiping the immortal power, they worship images made to look like mortals, or birds, or animals, or reptiles. And so Yahweh has given those people over to do the filthy things their hearts desire, and they do shameful things with each other.
A lot of that energy is tied into idolatry, the practice and commemorating of an idol. Like all this wickedness that you see with Diddy and these people in that industry, and you know, never mind these small hat moguls and execs. They taught these jakes how to be freaks. They taught them how to, you know, if you want to climb up, if you want to go so high, you gotta become a part of these rituals and these sex acts that we do that channel these energies, the dark energies to make you successful.
They made Diddy a gatekeeper.
Con.
You know?
Clive Davis was his handler at first, you know, but they indulge in these practices and these rituals commemorating these false idols. You know, you had back in the time of the Greeks, you had Bacchus or Bacchanalia, which I believe No, Dionysus was the Greek version, and I believe Bacchus is the Roman version. But you know, you just when you worship him, you just got under the liquor. You know, you drank until you got real drunk, and you indulged in revelry. And when you was partying while you had all that liquor in your system, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Back out.
You just it just gets wild.
What's going on?
And that's what they do in those hideouts, those Diddy parties. And then you also, prior to that, in the ancient world, you have Baal Peor. Baal Peor was basically the god of licentiousness. If you know what licentiousness is, it's basically when you do things based off of impulse. Basically, unbridled lust.
Yeah, it says morally unrestrained.
Unrestrained.
Freedom, liberty, in both the good or bad sense.
No discipline.
Yep.
Freedom and liberty. Like you have the so-called liberal people.
Yep.
They're there to protect the interests of these freaks.
Yep.
You know.
And to keep you in the mind of sin. I was gonna even tap you into something like this. If you notice the witchcraft that goes in the earth, if you care about, if you always, I gotta have my Valentine's Day gift, I gotta have my Mother's Day gift, the birthday party is the biggest thing in the world, Christmas, okay, and it's according to the world. Okay, I do drink Starbucks. To correlate this is all witchcraft on you to keep you in that same liberal mindset, and it's working on your subconscious. Not consciously, you don't make sense. How do those tie together? But subconsciously, it is breaking you down.
Get real quick. Get 2 Peter 2:18, real quick. You could probably get it in the NLT. Second Peter 2:18, and then go back to what you read.
2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 18. They brag about themselves with empty, foolish boasting, with an appeal to twisted sexual desires. Yep. They lure back into sins those who have barely escaped from a lifestyle of deception.
Read 17. What does it say in 17? These
people are as useless as dried up springs or as mist blown away by the wind. They are doomed to the blackest darkness.
Yeah, meaning the Lord gave them over to that reprobate mind, right? When the Lord give you over to that kind of mind, that means that the Lord, he rejected you. He ain't dealing with you. All right?
The Lord rejected Diddy. The Lord rejected Diddy.
Yeah.
That dude was super rejected.
But the Lord wasn't dealing with him no way. Right. He rejected Alazar though.
Yep.
Because he knew the truth. Yep. He was pushing the priesthood so heavy.
Yep.
But you're doing all kind of unclean, unholy acts as a so-called priest. The Lord gave him over to that mind. He didn't even think nothing of it. He was just getting off.
Hey, I want to feel it. That's his mentality.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He literally said that.
Yeah.
The Lord gave him over to that, man. But finish that and keep reading.
Verse
18. 18 again.
They brag about themselves with empty, foolish boasting. With an appeal to twisted sexual desires, they lure back into sin those who have barely escaped from a lifestyle of deception. They promise freedom, but they themselves are slaves to sin and corruption, for they are a slave to whatever you are a slave to whatever controls you.
Right. And if you are given over to that lust demon, you're gonna be a slave to it.
Yeah.
That means that you're gonna do anything necessary to continue to get that fix, get that feeling. You know? So Diddy just smashing a bad chick, that wasn't enough.
Multiple bad chicks.
That wasn't enough.
It wasn't.
A lot of these dudes, they when they get access to a new pool of women, and because they got all the money and wealth and fame, that shit start to get boring to them.
Yeah, the regular.
Like the regular, relationship with females, then it start to get worse. Their appetite for pleasure, it gets worse. They start to crave other shit. all right, I ain't being. This ain't really doing it for me no more. I need to take it up a notch.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, come, you know.
Just switch.
Yeah.
And start with a
Matter of
woman.
fact, bring another dude in here.
Yep.
You know. Matter of fact, hey, baby oil. You know.
I wouldn't be surprised if dude did bestiality, man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, bring that goat up in here. You know? That's what happens.
Yeah.
You become a slave to your flesh, the lust of your flesh.
This is not no exaggeration, man. Because when you operating according to the flesh, it's only so much you can be pleased or satisfied in your flesh before you start desiring a new level of pleasure.
Yes.
Right? These people bringing in those different, and the dude, Bobby Valentino, he literally said that. He was talking to this other dude. He was like, bro, I done had so many bad bitches. He's like, it's not exciting to me no more. They're like, well, hold on, what you mean? What you think he meant?
That nigga was already sweet. His first video, man. Look at the sweet ass nigga. That's a heavy demonic spirit down there in Atlanta, man. Atlanta niggas.
So yeah, man, but all that is under the activity of being licentious. Yeah, or lascivious. But licentious is more so like I'm not restrained by a moral precept. I'm not gonna bind myself under those type of discipline. I'm free to just do what basically Aleister Crowley, do as thou wilt. As long as it pleases you, do as thou wilt. I'm not binding myself under no law, no restriction. That's what a libertarian truly is. Or Epicurean.
I was gonna say, back to the point where you making about the Pope, all those statements he made, he gonna backpedal on all of them. Right. Eventually, his vision or his mind state is gonna be the mind state of the New World Order.
Exactly.
He's gonna be, well, what about you said, well, marriage is for everyone now.
Right.
The Lord loves everyone. He's going to extend it to, because he got to say what's right now, what sounds right in the eyes of in the eyes of the church. Like, oh, this is the new Pope. He's going to do this. He's going to, like, nah, man. He's set up to be the Pope for the New World Order. To be to those that are heavy Catholics into the Catholic Church, they'll listen to him. Yep. They may not listen to your local government. They might not listen to Trump. But if the Pope says it, the Pope says it's all right to take it. Yep. Well, I guess it's, he's a man of God. Yeah, and of course they're going to use, what is it, Romans 13. So they're going to, and he's just nothing more than a puppet. He's set up by the small hats. So he's just doing what he's supposed to do.
And him being from America.
Yep. Him being from Chicago. So, he's just.
Yeah. And he basically, there's a lying spirit on him. Like we read about in the scriptures about how he will be the evil angel said that I'll be a lying spirit in the midst of his prophets, dealing with the prophets of Baal. Hey, the fucking Pope is no different, man. He's a prophet of Baal, but he represents the beast.
Not him, the position.
Yeah.
This is the definition for licentiousness. It says licentiousness is the term for a lack of moral restraint, particularly in relation to sexual behavior. It can also refer to excessive indulgence in any form of pleasure or freedom.
Same sex, that falls into that. Bestiality falls into that. Adultery falls into that. And Esau, he that's why the scriptures refer to him as a man of sin. Because he doesn't do anything to outlaw you. His laws is to actually give you the liberty to do so. So America is a safe haven for wickedness to go on. And that's exactly what Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighboring cities were. It was a safe haven. You can go over there and win in Sodom and do as a Sodomites.
What is Vegas is about? What happens in Vegas
stays in Vegas.
That comforts people to do shit that they normally wouldn't do wherever they're from.
And in their mind, because they can get away with it, because all on vacation. well, I'm in Vegas, or like, nah, the Heavenly Father sees everything.
I ain't the worst. Before you can go that far, this ain't the worst thing that ever happened.
Yeah.
It ain't the worst thing happening in the city. I just want to go do a little bit of this. Yeah. There's people doing all of that. Yeah. You know.
But they'll do it in broad day, and it used to be a shame where if you did these things, but you didn't want to get caught doing it.
Yeah.
You kept it, in the closet, so to speak.
They used to call it download.
Download.
All that shit.
But now, you ain't got nothing to be afraid of. You ain't got nothing to be ashamed of.
Because society applauds it. A society is for it.
Yep.
So, like you said, you're
still gonna get a job.
Right.
They can't discriminate against you on.
You may get a better job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You might be more favored over a heterosexual.
Right.
For that same job. So yeah. There's more reason why this place is gonna go out, and that's why I had you read that in Revelation. So all those acts that people are constantly doing on a daily basis here, and they're not repentant of it, they're not apologetic about it, they're gonna have their part in that second death. That's why that excruciating pain is the reason why the Lord's gonna make them feel it, man.
Yeah.
They have to. They gotta experience that.
It says your sins shall be your accuser in that day. So unless you repent, in the spirit of these people, they're not thinking about repenting, because in their mind they feel they haven't done nothing wrong, because society allows them. The society allows you to be a mo. It allows you to be a serial adulterer. All right. It allows you to applause you if you women are hoes. You know what I mean?
Something I realized with this Diddy situation, it's almost putting a lot of freakism out there and making Jake feel all right to be nasty ass freaks.
Well, Diddy did it. Cassie did it.
Okay.
Especially if he walks from it.
He walks. No, we can't convict nobody about no sexual craziness.
Yeah.
Forgetting them, I don't want to go too far, but it's going with Sodom and Gomorrah. Y'all got it.
And that's why the brother, when he read that precept in Romans 1 about you got it.
Yeah, this is back in Romans 1. This is GNT. It says 25. They exchanged the truth about God for a lie. They worship and serve what the Most High has created instead of the Creator Himself, who is to be praised forever. Amen. Because
the Most High gave us the feeling of pleasure, but y'all treat it like it's the most important thing on the earth. No, and then you even seek the pleasure out in the wrong and unwise fashions, more than the reason for the pleasure. There was a reason for certain sexual pleasures to help to be fruitful and multiply as a positive thing. Y'all taking it to where it's about to say, I don't know if I'm gonna say it in this, but unnatural things become the way of pleasure.
This is 26. Because they do this, Yahweh has given them over to shameful passions.
That's GNT, right?
Yep. Shameful passions.
There's no shame now.
Yeah. Like them Sodom, them fucking them Sodomites. When Lot was getting ready to leave, and they saw the angels come into his home. And they was like, "Hey, we want to know. We want to know them dudes."
Blinded them niggas, man.
Yeah. Blinded them, and they still trying to reach for the door, trying to break the door down.
Every demon on them guys.
Big Terry Crews ass niggas, bro.
Old moles, young moles.
Yeah. Some of your favorite rappers is like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about it. Remember talking about Joey Badass?
Yeah. Yep.
They don't want Diddy to get. They want Diddy to walk because he know too much.
Yeah.
But all these niggas, like you said, your favorite rappers.
And it's the same.
Remember how you saw remember when Diddy was talking to Fabulous?
Yeah.
On Drink Champs?
We ain't really party, bro.
Oh, Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Look at his lips talking about
Party with me, man. Nigga, what?
Now what I'm seeing about this whole
We
thing,
ain't party though.
the thing that I'm seeing about it though, is it's the same thing like Barabbas. Once they get the public to okay this thing, then you can't convict nobody on it. The public just cool with it. No big deal. I'm a good ruler because I let the people give the people what they want. But that ain't what the Most High said.
It's democracy.
Okay, you know, right? I throw the words out. I got it.
That's why it says in was that Psalms or Proverbs, where it says the wicked walk on every side when a vilest man is exalted.
Yep.
This is all Esau's vibration.
How's it go with Habakkuk 1 with the law slack?
Oh, the law slack.
Therefore, right
Righteous judgment does not go forth.
Therefore, wrong judgment proceeds.
Wrong judgment proceeds. Yep.
I want to
That's
get
what's
this
going on.
real quick. Habakkuk 2. You still reading it in Romans, right?
Okay.
2 and 6. 16, excuse me. Thou art filled with shame for glory. And you know that you're going into shame. That's a shameful thing. But in here, in Babylon, it's exalted. You know?
You don't feel no shame. You really feel proud about it.
Yeah.
Here,
They call it pride.
pride.
I'm finished. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. We know we apply this to Esau, but at the same time we can apply this to the wickedness of our people and these heathens, you know?
This image is such
Yeah.
that same mind of wickedness.
Yeah.
No lack of shame. That's why a lot of our women are bitches because they're unshamed about their acts.
A shameful woman shall be counted as a dog.
Yep.
Remember that show that used to be on Netflix called Shameless?
Yep.
With the with the family.
The family, fucking degenerate ass family.
Yeah.
Watch if y'all could catch that, go watch that show, man.
No
it was
shame.
super degenerate. They had zero shame, man. Everybody was fucked up, man.
Yeah.
And who loved watching that show? Jake liked that show.
You got the fucking nigga woman. She freaking out with the white boy,
Yeah.
and they, you know, it was just a bunch of, it was crazy, man.
The main daughter's a hoe.
She a big slut.
Big slut.
You know,
The dad's a fucking degenerate.
Junkie.
Drunkie.
he drunk all the
Drunk,
time.
Yep. Steal from the kids. and
Stealing money out the
Man.
house. Yeah.
Got more than
See, and this is verse 26. Because they do this, Yahweh has given them over to shameful passions. Even the woman pervert the natural use of their sex by unnatural acts.
Yep. And they got all these TV series and these different programs. They gotta make sure that they just slip that fucking agenda right in your face, man.
They always got men kissing.
They got men
on regular TV.
On regular TV, yeah. They got it in the cartoons. My wife had to cut a program off. My little daughter she don't know what the hell she's seeing.
Right.
You gotta kind of be there to overwatch what your children are watching.
They came to watch cartoons.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Hey, you seen the clip with Candace Owens with Jason Lee?
Yeah.
Almost reporter or whatever.
Yeah.
And these motherfuckers are arguing about the tranny shit, you know? Are you actually, can you change your sex pretty much? These motherfuckers are arguing about it, bro.
Wow.
You know, Candace, she got the logic on that, the true logic on that. You can't change your sex, man. You are what the Lord made you born to be, either male or female.
That's it.
You can't change it. But in Babylon, these motherfuckers argue about it.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Cause they bugged out on that juice, Babylonian juice, man.
This is what you get when you let a wicked. You have a wicked ruler. When your government is not ran by the law, statutes, and commandments of the scriptures of the Bible.
Yep.
This is what you get. You got people arguing over some simple ass shit.
Yeah.
Put it on TV or put it on anything where you got actual debate.
Yes.
Things that shouldn't even be debated.
Right.
Yeah. They don't do that.
Fact.
Right. Continue. 27. In the same way, the men give up natural sexual relations with women and burn with passion for each other. Men do shameful things with each other, and as a result, they bring upon themselves the punishment they deserve for their wrongdoing.
Now go to the KJV. The KJV is a little harsh, the way it says it.
All right, I get it.
That part, yeah, that part.
Verse 27?
26.
26.
It says both. So you ain't trying to be like, oh, they just do shameful things. They just, nah, man. Watch how the KJV
Verse
says it.
26. Romans 1 and 26. For this cause the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change their natural use into that which is against nature.
Innies and innies and outies and outies. That's something against nature.
Yeah. Positive, negative.
Yeah.
And likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burn in their lust one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves the recompense of the error that was meet.
So how, no, exactly. But how was outies and outies? That don't even make sense.
Right.
But they figured it out. And it's what you're thinking. And it's a natural thought today. When that was written, they were doing it, but it wasn't a natural understanding to people sneaking around doing it.
Right.
Now, that's just open. You see all these TikToks and whatever now, where people, all the sus rappers from the 80s, 90s, and sus lyrics from the past, things that were written in a certain context, but now with your perverted mind, you can go back and it sounds like some freak nature.
What's his name? Birdman?
Yeah, he was on it. But yeah, saying a lot of things that was on the fence, but see, that's too recent. They're going back to like old shit. Finding Shakespeare wrote these things. Oh,
We're trying to cancel culture now.
Yeah.
You can't say shit, you know?
There used to be a time when we, like back in high school, if you was a dude, you know, from around the way, if we find out you was gay, you get your ass beat. But now it's like, you know, you so-called in the closet. Now it's the opposite. Now you gotta pretty much hide your feelings about not being with the homosexual shit.
You can't speak against it.
Why not? It's something that I've been to you. Nigga, you was flirting with me, nigga. Hell no, it can't be cool.
Hey, can you read down to the verse that worthy of death?
Yeah, you was getting there in that.
I was on verse 28.
In the GNT, right?
In the GNT or
Yeah.
28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of the Most High.
That's the category, you know, that links up with Revelation 21 that was reading earlier. Yeah, that's actually.
Despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them.
Yeah.
This is a society now,
it,
people.
or whether you approve of people that do it.
Yeah. Same
Talked
thing.
about that the recompense of their error that is meat, which is meat. That's talking about the judgment that comes upon them for living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
These sexually transmitted diseases, like you had hepatitis B, super herpes, gonorrhea, syphilis. Shit that'll actually kill you,
Was that
man.
disease X? Was that the other one that they were? Was that the one?
And I remember
What's that section?
they did a study when you had the monkeypox.
Yeah.
They did a study on how
Yeah, kind of. I was getting transferred.
how it's transmitted, and who have the highest percentage of being infected. Those amongst the same the men, the most.
Yeah.
It was among them that was getting that.
Because look at how it was as unnatural and unseemly.
It's not
They
natural.
figured out how to find a hole with two outies.
Yep.
You know, and
Shit
even
ain't
going,
right.
if I was like,
Go ahead.
I popped up again from 2022, that study they did from 2016 to 2022 in Houston. Houston had the highest STD rates anywhere in any city in America. And it's like, why? And it's among in Harris County, but mainly Houston, but they have the worst. Why do you think that is? Because they're allowing all that to fester there. And I think
Then you got the
what's
women.
promoted.
And you got a lot of the women that's laying down with these dudes who's double dipping. Like a lot of them women in ATL, you stepping on landmines over there. She could be looking real good and all that, but you don't know where who she had in the past, the type of men she done dealt with.
And she may not know.
And sometimes, a lot of the times, they don't even be known.
You know?
They see this nigga with a grill in his mouth and tattoos,
Yoked and shit.
yoked up.
attitude, and,
Yeah.
you know, all this
You
super
got the dreads
bravado
with
and
the fitted
masculinity.
over it.
Big Valley ass nigga.
Y'all seen that video that he's like a rapper nigga or something? This nigga, man. He said he was talking to his baby mama on the phone, and she disowned him too, you know. But he was like, yeah, man, I don't care if it feel good, I'ma fuck it. That's what he said, and that's what we reading about.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we reading about. That sensuality, man. You know, just appealing to your senses and your, you know, what's pleasing to your flesh, what feel good, what tastes good. Yeah, all of that.
Yep.
The chick Doechii, you know, she ended up getting a Grammy and getting rewarded just because she said, if you're a man and you're not
Hetero.
yeah, if you're a heterosexual man,
She's suspicious.
yeah.
She says a red flag.
It's a red flag, yeah. It's a red flag if you straight.
Yeah,
Next thing you know, she big now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna read it in the GNT 27. In the same way, the men give up natural sexual relations with women and burn with passion for each other. Men do shameful things with each other, and as a result, they bring upon themselves the punishment they deserve for their wrongdoing.
The diseases. You know. Sometimes they'll even get demons on them where they get depressed.
Yeah.
They commit suicide. You know?
It says because those people refuse to keep in mind the true knowledge about.
And that's beautiful because we can't follow Leviticus 20 and 13 on this side. So the Lord just ends up punishing guys. He ends up doing it. You ain't gotta, we ain't gotta grab a stone. The Lord he'll just, all right, I'm gonna plague him real quick. You know?
We'll get persecuted for executing that judgment.
Yeah, we can't do that. We're not sovereign. Over there on the other side of the world, they got their judgments on how to handle it.
I've seen situations.
I
They
just
just
seen
burn them.
I meant to send it to the chat, but I just seen the video. They were showing the punishments in different countries for homosexuality.
Man.
And it was a couple countries. It was like 10 years in prison,
Yeah, prison,
14
man.
years in prison.
Imprisonment, yeah.
And then they start saying death penalty, death penalty, death penalty.
Yep.
And
Them who was it? The Kenyans. When Obama tried to go over there,
Yep.
come on with that shit.
Yep.
Continuing. Because those people refuse to keep in mind the true knowledge about Yahweh, He has given them over to corrupted minds.
And that's why we have to go back to the Bible and teach you the basics again. Because you people, there's a generation that's grown up completely without any sense of the Bible. We're looking at them, they're diseased. Without any real natural, like it's not on TV. Like there's no way that the Bible and its messages
But
are even in society
and even
for a
if
certain group.
I want to say, and even if the kids go to a Christian school, a Catholic school, they don't ever go into this.
It's more PC.
Right. They don't ever go into what's actually in the
They'll
Bible.
teach you about JC, but they ain't gonna teach you about the rules of living
Right,
a
right.
JC lifestyle. You know,
Right.
using that.
And you're not gonna get it in no public school
No.
because the majority of the now, the majority of the things that the kids learn was usually in school, from home. Now it's the internet.
Yep.
You know? And now it's TikTok, it's all these different social media platforms where the kids are learning. And what are they learning? To be bigger moles, that
Acceptable
LGBTQ
of it.
is
That's what
okay.
I
You know, it's really learning to be undisciplined. An undisciplined lifestyle with no consequences.
Right.
You know, no one, you know, you never hear about the consequences. You always hear about, oh, they got an LGBT parade or whatever. You don't ever hear about, these people that was practicing, or these moles, you know, this many moles died this month from this, that, or, you know, whatever disease.
You know what other statistic came out recently that they don't talk about in this in the alphabet community? The divorce rate. It's higher than the man and woman.
Domestic
relations as well. Domestic violence.
Domestic violence as well is huge among them.
And also the harm on children too.
Yeah. Exactly. They don't bring them things up when you get sued. What's the word? Like the witchcraft they're putting on you, basically.
An article just came out. An article came out basically on it's like they call it it's these two dudes. They moles and they adopted I think like two kids.
Two J kids.
And they end up here.
Yeah, and they were basically called them the perfect model, quote unquote, for that lifestyle, for adopting children. And it came out that those two moles were touching them kids, man.
Yeah, you know?
Just
saying kids.
Right.
Yeah. But see, with this is the society we live in where that's allowed. What type of social service or adoption agency is going to be like, oh, okay, two grown ass, hairy ass Edomites. Oh, you can just adopt a little black kid, a little black boy.
We trust that.
We look at your back. We check your background. In these institutions, these adoption agencies, they're run by, they're funded by Edomites. You know, they okay this. They give these motherfuckers the green light. Oh yeah, it's okay. And then they put it on social media. They put it on your morning news. Oh, look at this. You know, come on, man. That's why this place got to be fucking destroyed, man. Going back to what your brother started off with the chariots, the thermonuclear fire. You know, the hell with this place. When you really start to critically think and dissect what's going on and like the people at the top that's allowing this. That's what these dumb niggas don't realize. It's like, okay, yeah, you hate Trump, but nigga, bigger than Trump. It's bigger than your local PD. You know? It's like that, bro.
Continuing. It says, the Most High Yahweh has given them over to corrupted minds so that they do the things that they should not do. They are filled with all kinds of wickedness, evil, greed, and vice. They are full of jealousy, murder, fighting, deceit, and malice. They gossip and speak evil of one another. They are hateful to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, insolent, proud, and boastful. They think of more ways to do evil.
Like it says in Ecclesiastes, that he had made man to be upright, but they sought out many inventions. Their thoughts was just continuously evil, man. Come up with a newfound way to transgress, do something wicked or abominable. And that's why the Lord said, my heart can't be with these people anymore, man. I will no longer strive with man. You know?
That goes back to the first death.
Yep.
He's that upset about it.
He's
back that upset again.
Yep.
This ain't.
The Lord got so angry that he told one man out of all the millions of people in the world, we don't even know how many people was on earth back then, but he told one soul, I'm gonna need you to do this for me. Save yourself.
Yep. I'm pissed.
You do this for me, you're saving yourself. I'm finna fuck this earth up.
You just described what we're doing.
Right
today. This is when the second death is coming.
Yeah.
And that's something that's gonna, a catastrophic event, like not just the event of the flood, but the number of deaths. So you say it was 12 million people on the earth. So 12, what's that, 11,992 people made it? They don't, people don't realize the death toll. They're not gonna show you in the movies, you know how these natural disaster movies or end of the world type movies, they're not gonna show you the great death. I was watching that movie San Andreas and I said it was bullshit because The whole tidal wave wiped out. Was it San Francisco?
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like, look, where are the bodies at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It should have been bodies floating.
Yeah.
They're not going to show you the magnitude of the death, and that's the only thing that's going to get Jake's attention. Death. I ain't talking about 20 people got shot at a house party. I'm talking about 1,000, 10,000 people died in one incident. Where people are going to be like, oh shit, what's going on? Maybe I need to find those guys that was on the street. What was their name? Yeshua?
Yeah.
Continuing. It says, they think of more ways to do evil. They disobey their parents. They have no conscience. They do not keep their promises. And they show no kindness or pity for others. They know that Yahweh's law says that people who live in this way deserve death.
Yep.
Yet, not only do they continue to do these very things, but they even approve of others who do them.
A lot of the game in that community is getting others to hop in with them.
Yeah.
A lot of it is that.
They have to convince you that it's normal.
Yeah.
You know?
And something's wrong with you if you
If
don't agree with
Yeah,
it.
if you don't accept it. They even have to try to go scientific and try to come up with terms to make it you know, like they try to
validate it.
They try to validate
Yeah.
you know that lifestyle, man.
You notice a lot of them be the same ones that don't like kids.
Yeah.
Like they hate the idea of having children and shit like that. Like they don't really like it, even though they want it. It's a natural thing in a person.
Yeah.
They be against it now because kids just getting away. They just wild. They got all negative things to say about babies and children.
Hey, look up Alfred Kinsey. Look him up. He started a whole idea, a whole philosophy about sexual revolution. And in those studies, he was even saying that children, they feel pleasure too.
Yeah, that one demon, it was somebody else that, maybe it was him. I remember the elder Yashirama brought it out before.
Yeah, I think the Alfred Kinsey,
same
the Kinsey files or the Kinsey report or something to that effect.
Hey, well, that's backed by the Talmud.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
by their customs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
And of course, the
Yep.
damn devil, Edomite.
Alfred Kinsey was an American biologist, professor of etymology and zoology, and later a pioneering sexologist. He's best known for founding the Institute of Sex Research
Wait. What year? Because how can you pioneer something that's been on the earth for thousands of years?
1894 to
Knew the wrong
1956.
way. Knew way was the wrong way. You got it.
Kinsey shifted his focus in the late 1930s to 1940s to human sexuality, an area that was largely tabooed in American society at the time. Major work, Sexual Behavior of Human Male, Sexual Behavior of Human Female. The two reports, commonly called Kinsey reports, caused major public discussions and controversy by revealing that sexual behaviors previously thought to be rare and deviant were actually quite common.
Hey, quick reset, Uncle Michelle. There's a Proverbs 17 and 15. It reads, come. It's Proverbs chapter 17, verse 15. And it reads, he that justifieth the wicked, and he that condemneth the just, even they both are an abomination to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai. Oh, the seemeth right. It's Proverbs 14 and 12. Yep. 12. It's Proverbs 14 and 12. There is a way which seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
So they can lead you down that route all you want, but it's a condemnation and there's a judgment, but there's also not leading to life. It's a lifestyle of death.
All right. He was criticized including data from pedophiles and other non-consensual cases, raising serious ethical questions. Religious and conservative groups attacked his work as immoral and pseudoscientific. Nonetheless, he's still considered a crucial figure in the history of human sexuality.
Another word pseudo means, right? Whenever you see that, it basically means false.
Yep.
I'm going to get this right here. It says critical and controversy. Wait. Okay. I asked, what did he say about child sexuality? Albert Kinsey, writing on child sexuality, are among
This
the
is
most.
what they're working on right now, by the way.
Yeah.
All right.
That map shit.
That map shit.
They'll probably
They're gonna
do-
use, some of his talking points. They're gonna reference some of his studies and what he said about this particular topic, and they would consider him somebody credible because he was a biologist.
Yeah.
He went to the school.
They figure he's educated.
He's educated.
He's a doctor or whatever the fuck.
But this motherfucker was a fucking deviant, man.
Yeah. It says Kinsey's man. It says okay. Let me start the top. After Kinsey's writing on sexuality, child sexuality are among the most controversial aspects of his legacy. The material appears primarily in sexual behavior in the human male, in which Kinsey and his team included data on the sexual experience and responses of children as young as infants.
Bro.
So but they're so-called scientists. How are they getting this data? They actually doing this wicked shit to kids.
Yeah.
And here's the other part. It took them 200 years to get this writings approved, to prove it in science, because it was always against what was going on in the time. You know?
This is so I spoke about it I think a couple weeks ago, but the group NAMBLA, which is it's a government funded organization. It's called the North American Man Boy Love Association. That's literally what it stands for. NAMBLA. North American Man Boy Love Association. It says it's a controversial and widely condemned organization that advocates for the decriminalization of sexual relations between adult men and underage boys.
Sick.
But it's an organization that's funded by E.
Yeah. And I want to say something real quick. Their logo is like a triangle and it goes all the way into a small triangle.
Yep.
I seen that on the Pope's garment. It's like outlined in the Pope's garment. So you already know how to get down.
Yep. It says the normalization of PDFing. It says the group seeks to legitimize PDF behavior under the guise of consensual love, despite the fact that children cannot legally or developmentally give consent. Right? But this is what it does. Yeah, it is.
And by the way, mind you, in the Talmud, you can marry a young girl as early as 3 years old.
Yeah.
And this information, behind him having these degrees and these different titles, they'll say it's scientifically backed,
Yep.
or it's scientifically proven.
Okay.
But how do you prove science? Through experience.
Right.
So that they actually commit these.
Yeah, I'm about to read it. If your brothers had a
Just like
real quick.
they
I
test
just got more information.
in the lab,
Okay,
just
okay.
like they test animals, rats.
Yeah.
They do that with humans.
They got test. We call it test subjects.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says what Kinsey's reported. Kinsey included tables that documented what he called orgasmic responses in children.
Wow.
He wrote that children were capable of experiencing sexual arousal, even orgasms, and presented this as data from hundreds of cases. Hundreds of cases?
That's hundreds of children. Yep.
Wow.
The data in question came from interviews and accounts from adult subjects, including some who were sexually abused children. Kinsey did not personally conduct experiments, of course they're gonna say that,
Yeah, right.
on children, but he accepted the published data from individuals who had.
It goes right back what you wrote in Romans. You read it.
Kenzie,
Hey, real quick, let me grab this precept. Psalm 64 and 6. It says, they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
Yeah.
Whoever did the fucking research and got the information, why is that a desire for you to get that information?
Right.
Yeah.
I got
That's
a
sick.
little more to add to what the brother was reading.
A heart that devises wicked imagination, the Most High hates.
Mm-hmm.
But just imagine a person like that, but he's in power. He's ruling.
Yeah.
So he's gonna make it to where if you touch a child, you good with him.
Damn, man, living here.
Sick.
This is
Why
why.
FBI wasn't kicking his though now?
Right.
Right.
That's why I know the Epstein list is going to be withheld till they get it approved. It's
Bro,
all
it's-
right, then it may come out.
It's all bad, man.
Nothing happened.
Nothing gonna happen. They could release it right now, man. They could put that shit on the front page of the New York Times and the LA Times.
Yeah, Jake is
Ain't
still
nobody.
worshiping the
Yeah.
niggas. Shit, he dead. They should have been released it anyway. But this is some more information, pretty much laying back off of the brother. It says among many shocking findings in Kinsey's reports, arguably the most scandalous one was about young children as young as infants observing orgasm, right, which the brother just read. It says all orgasms, this is a quote from Kinsey, all orgasms are outlets and equal between husband and wife, boy and dog, man and boy, girl or baby.
Wow.
For there is no abnormality and no normality, the Kinsey report says.
Wow.
It says not only did Kinsey hypothesize that infants are orgasmic from birth, but he also suggested that incest relationships and PDF benefit children. He said,
This all falls in line with inordinate affection.
Yep.
These vile passions that the scriptures just spoke of.
Yeah.
And if you do these things, you're worthy of death, man.
Yeah. And we've been saying it from the for a while. Hey, that once you accept one of these things, you accept them all. Essentially.
Yeah.
Hey, cause when Obama passed that thing in I believe it was his second term. You know, in his second term, he painted the White House in rainbow colors.
Yep.
Hey, that's when all this stuff started to bloom, man. You know, and we told you at that point. You know, hey, now it's the T. They add the T into it. Next, they're about to add the P to it, man.
Just like they added the black on the flag.
Yep.
And they added the brown.
Add to it, yeah.
They gonna add every nation to that. They're gonna try to tie all you Jakes in.
It's
And,
going to be a part of the
Yeah.
image of the beast.
Yeah.
Eventually.
The Lord's, go ahead.
I remember there was an event. I think it might have been in DC, but they was having a LGBT event going on, and on the street, there was
Oh yeah, they
It was
painted
like-
the street,
they
and,
painted
and,
the
and the horse didn't want to go.
no. It was- They
I
painted,
remember
they
that
painted
one.
in the street like the rainbow colors and like different symbols.
Yeah.
But one of the symbols that was there, it was the PDF symbol. If you look up the PDF symbol, symbol is like the little swirl.
Yeah.
They had that right on the pavement, right along with the rainbow shit. So that they try to blur the lines with that.
Right.
Yeah.
They definitely, that's probably all they really want. They say I forgot who wrote it. It's one of them guys, Aleister Crowley or something. I forgot.
That's what I was thinking of.
One
I
of
was
them
thinking
got-
of.
Yeah.
One of
Yeah,
them
I was thinking
sexually
that.
deviant, demonic guys was saying that I forgot where the quote come from. Brother may even be able to look it up, but the quote is, "There's no magic like the
Oh, yeah.
finding the anus of an 8-year-old black boy or something like that."
Yeah,
Something like that. That's
black
part of their
sex
sexual
magic.
like you said, that's the bigger picture of their agenda. And like the brother just read how they accomplished the diligent search. Esau, his pride allows him to be very patient. So it's nothing for them to, years ago, they already know what they want. So let's introduce the smaller things, the homosexuality and the liberalism, and let's just let that marinate for a few years, and then eventually we'll introduce the PDF BS,
Yeah,
and they'll be more accepting to it. So,
to back up what you're saying, also Alfred Kinsey, like I was saying, 200 years. That's a long ass time. That dude's far dead. He's dead and back.
I think it was
Right now.
I mean, it was
1930s
19.
when he finally came back around.
Yeah.
right?
1894. He died in 1956.
Yeah.
But you gotta consider his research was done in 1930s. So these devils was thinking this shit back then.
Over 100
We
years.
over almost 100 years. So how much more now when
Yep.
they have the power to push it through?
Yep.
They got the power to bring these things forth, and they're gonna do it right under your nose, like the brother said. It's little by little, because they know that PDF shit, man, ain't too many people going for that. So they can't just throw you into the fire with that.
Come on, man. It's the same as...
They gotta warm you up for that, but it's coming.
Yeah.
You know? But that's
Sick.
sick, man. It's
That would be part of their new world order.
that's part of the image of the beast.
If they're able to get away with it, that would be a normal thing here in this world, you know?
Yeah.
And there ain't nothing you can do about it. You can't stand up against it. What are you gonna do? They'll put your ass to death, you know? But that's what they're working on. We know that's it. And behind closed doors, they do it. All these children going missing, babies fucking being abducted, you know? There's this, they're doing it. They're doing it. So the Lord sees it. Okay, they're not gonna get away with it. This is one right here. That's the anger that the Lord is gonna put on His men to execute vengeance on these people. It's gonna be justified, man.
I gotta agree.
Okay, because we're gonna know everything. We're gonna know everything they did, and therefore they're gonna get the righteous punishment, man. You know. Because this is just too much. It's too much.
Yeah, like it says in Joel, the 2nd chapter, where it says, you know, thrust, put you in a sickle. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You know, stand, you press that fucking that wine press.
Yeah.
You know, because the wickedness, the fats overflow, but the wickedness is great. It's too much. Yep.
Jeremiah 16:16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, says the Lord, and they shall fish them. And that's what we're doing right now. We're fishing for the elect through this preaching His word. And after, I will send for many hunters. So the Lord gonna change those fishers into hunters. You know, which are the prophets, 144,000. The ruling government that's going to be in the kingdom under Yahushua, King David, the 12, you know. And they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from mine eyes.
There you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, they doing that shit in darkness, right? They think nobody's watching. But hey, the Lord put the Spirit on His man to expose you first. Right? Oh, an inquisition, right? What's that? An investigation, man. You're under investigation, E. All right, and you're not gonna be acquitted. You here you are. You gonna be put Jake behind before the whole world, right? Did he? Which he is guilty. And he's the face of these crimes that are being committed, but you're the ultimate fucking criminal, man. You're the one you're the mastermind behind this, and the Lord is watching you, and you're not gonna be acquitted. Okay, you're gonna be found guilty on all counts, man. And therefore, the Lord said His men are gonna be turned into hunters. Gonna hunt your ass down, man, and bring you to justice. Okay, before the whole world. Because in this world there ain't no justice.
Yeah, ultimately the Lord's gonna do it.
Yeah.
You know, the Lord said that the vengeance is burning in His heart. He can't wait to come back and put a stop to all this wickedness, man.
Yep.
He says that your hurtful works are fulfilled. You know, you wonder why it says in Isaiah that the Lord, when He comes back, He's gonna let off a war cry. You know, he's gonna, and it says that He's gonna devour all at once. That's high level indignation, man.
Hey, Salaki, when you was a kid, for y'all that may have been through this situation, where y'all in the room, you and your cousins or brothers or whatever, sisters, whoever, and you're just being badass kids, you know that this didn't reach outside when your daddy hear this, in the living room, wherever he's at in the house, or whoever, you know, or whoever's the Punisher in the house. So when he come in that room, what do you think he gonna do? He actually probably been at the door listening for a few minutes to see how bad y'all gonna look, if y'all gonna self-check yourself, if you're gonna start correcting yourselves and get back right and get in order. But when Jake don't, what happens? Uncle or daddy or whoever come in there and start tearing up, start whooping everybody ass. I don't care. What you not only, but I wasn't doing it, but you didn't tell him to stop. Okay, and that's what we're in here trying to tell Jake. Hey, stop! Daddy about to whoop y'all ass. He gonna come in here and everybody gonna get in trouble.
Yep.
All right, that's pretty much what we telling the people. But the beautiful part now is, Daddy know that we've been telling y'all to get right, and y'all still was cussing at us, trying to fight us, and get even rowdy with us. So he gonna come in and whoop y'all ass, and we not gonna get that same whooping. It's gonna be dangerous when we gotta dodge the blows, and you know, I'm just putting it in human terms for you, something that you can understand. But this ass whooping, you gonna wish was with a belt, cause you can't devour all at once with a belt. You can devour all at once with fire, though. You know, and that's what and then we know Jacob's trouble. Fire is just one of the many things coming to the earth.
Yeah, that's gonna be the last thing.
Yeah, that's the final.
What the cherry on top is the missiles.
Yeah, we know.
Prior to that, you got a long punishment to look forward to.
More than just you gonna miss dinner. That's famine. You go to bed without dinner. No, but you can't sleep in the bed. You gotta sleep outside on the ground or some shit. You know, man. There's so many analogies you can make to that, but the basic to understand is that you about to get your ass whooped bad. The last time he whooped the earth's ass like this was the flood. Okay, this is how bad this time we're coming into. It is. Through the terror of the Lord, we persuade you, Daddy about to come in here and whoop that ass. Cut that bullshit out. Cut that freakism and get right.
All that shit you learn from the wicked.
Yep.
All them corrupted ass Jakes, they learned it from being around the wicked.
Yep. Yep.
The righteous is more excellent than his neighbor.
Yep.
But the ways of the wicked seduce him.
Yep.
Diddy became a monster because he was around Clyde Davis and all those other, you know, Edomite record execs. He had to intern, so he had to do a lot of sick shit.
For how many years?
For how long, right?
Right.
This
And his
dude-
parents. His
Yeah.
parents was in it too, they said.
Yeah.
Diddy's mom.
He was an intern for was it Uptown, I think?
Yep. Clive was what, Arista first?
I think so.
And then Uptown was like the hip hop branch of that. And then he got fired from there and ended up opening up his own thing. Are you ready? You ready to go on and spawn off your own branch of demons?
Yeah. And you remember it was a story when he was still an intern before they, you know, raised him up. He had he was throwing a basketball tournament at a New York college. It was like some college in New York.
You? Or was it Howard? He went to Howard.
He went to Howard, but it was at a
Somewhere in New York.
somewhere like a community
So
college.
DJ, yeah.
Yeah, and a stampede situation took place,
Mm.
and he wasn't listening to what the security was trying to tell him. I think that dude was it Gene Deal, his name?
Yeah, Gene Deal.
Yeah, bodyguard. Yeah, the bodyguard. He talks about it, but because of the way he handled the situation, multiple people got killed in that stampede trying to get into a basketball game. They got trampled. That's what I believe that was. I believe that was a initial sacrifice for him to go up, a couple steps of that ladder.
Yeah, versus taking the charges, because he's, when you set up the event, you were responsible. So that's a lawsuit right there. But he had to beat that trial. He beat the case.
He faced a lot of scrutiny, but he didn't do no time or nothing like that.
Esau swept it under the rug for him. He got a slap on the wrist, but he been paying back Esau ever since.
But he ended up getting a year after that. That's when he ended up getting Bad Boy.
Yeah,
Bad Boy Entertainment.
Like they say, Puppy had the gun in the club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then what the testimony says, Shine had it.
Right.
And J-Lo was around, but she gonna pop up. I'm sure she gonna pop up in this if she ain't been around already.
Oh, she's J-Lo, man. She's been done. Ran through also, for sure.
This is the people that's gonna get a lot of you jacks effed up, man, because you rather listen to them than listen to the words of the prophets.
That's why the scriptures say, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. You know, all of these jakes chasing success and fortune, they gotta basically envy Esau. You know? They gotta take advice from him. They gotta learn the rules of the game from him.
They got starry eyes, man.
Huh?
You know? They think it's all nice and shit. Oh yeah, I want to be famous. I want to be big, you know? Shit. It's a dark ass world you gotta go through, man. It's a dark door. You know? Once you get into it, fuck. You in it. You in it, man.
You remember that story of this Jake? He was online and he was talking about how him and a friend they went into a Hollywood party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when he went to that party, he said it started off like it was cool.
They like invited influencers.
Influencers and all type of people over there. There was famous people in there.
It was like
but it was going room to room, different doors and shit.
And it said different colors for each room.
Everything had a representation, a theme, a symbolism, but the vibration just kept changing with each room to the point where he wanted out. He had to get up out of there. They was trying to they was sending people after
but his
him.
friend.
His friend stayed. He stayed. Yeah.
And they said his friend is now this famous streamer. Yeah.
He didn't want to say who it was.
Yeah, he didn't want to say who it was, but Drewski. Yeah, well, he went up.
Yeah.
Guy Sinat.
Guy Sinat.
He done did some shit. He
yeah.
definitely did some shit.
How the fuck you make money by just sitting at the computer talking shit? When they said streamer, I thought they was playing video games. Like, you know, what is it called? It's like a stream thing. It's called Twitch. I thought it was like Twitch. Like these niggas just sitting up talking shit. Like that's streaming and they get money.
Bro, big money.
Yep.
Big money. And it be little shit they say on there. My kids when they was young, like younger, you know, it was like, fuck y'all watch other motherfuckers play games?
Right? Yeah.
And be just extra, you know, exaggerate.
And then the people are cussing extra, saying crazy stuff.
Like when they be like with the headphones on and talking shit,
Talking crazy.
That was about back then. Now it's just sitting in the front and then they don't do nothing.
They don't even play the game.
They don't play the game no more.
They just watch other people. Just react to it.
Yeah, reaction videos.
Yes.
And people, they see this shit and they envy that.
Yeah.
This is the way to success now? This is what I gotta be like? This is what I gotta do?
I want to go around town and eat and easy. Have my video gonna be me chewing.
Yeah.
And then you just, that's gotta be delicious.
You ain't gotta say that.
Hey, that's what Satan wanted Yahweh Shai to do. He said, bow down unto me. You gotta do them rituals that we're talking about.
Remember the
You gotta
episode?
humiliate yourself.
The black girl, dude got on the front of the thing, and it's like
Yes.
some dark web shit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's 1 John 2:15.
Yep.
Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life.
That's the same thing Satan was trying to get Yahweh Shai to bow down for. The same thing that you Jakes bow down for today. Same thing that most of the people want today out of the world.
Yeah, that's why I don't feel bad for a nigga like Tory Lanez.
Nah.
Yeah.
You was trying to get up in there, and then all of a sudden, you know, you having a. I got Megan Thee Stallion. I got her homegirl. I got Kylie Jenner. I'm just doing it. And then something happened behind the scenes. Your ass get put up in the can. And now you in there getting shanked up and shit.
He might not make it about that.
Hell no. But you might have crossed some people up there.
They said he told the dude he was going to smash his wife.
Yeah,
That's what they say. I don't know how true.
I heard
Some people accepted that, okay, he deserved it.
I heard something along the lines of basically with the whole record label and industry streaming.
Yep.
That he with his last album he produced like NFTs, and with those NFTs he was selling them for $1 against the company. So when everybody bought him out, they was trying to basically the buyback price was $30,000 and up for them to give back his basically his music, his licenses, his licenses for his music. So he kind of went against the industry in that way. He saw he got pissed.
He said he got they bought all them streams from him. He got paid. And then the people get paid because they have them if they sell them back to the company. So the only loser is the company.
Yes,
So I'm thinking Drake, he probably gonna be next. He's going against Using Murphy.
Well, good, man. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what you niggas get, man.
We always saying this. We always say among ourselves, the devil always gonna want his money back.
Always on
The devil always wants his money back.
Yeah, man.
That's why you're never supposed to trust him.
Kind.
Join them. They say in the world, if you can't beat them, join them. That don't apply with this.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Yeah, they gonna watch what they do to Drake. If you think Diddy is something, watch what they gonna do to him. You battling against the biggest record company, like, bro.
They gonna make an example of that nigga.
They're gonna make it to where that nigga Kendrick sound like a prophet and shit. You know, they gonna make an example out of dude.
Yeah.
But this is what happens when you envy the oppressor and choose his ways. You know, this is what happens, man. It was that Proverbs 23, eat not the bread of him that have an evil eye. This devil, that's all he do. He sleep not except he have done mischief.
Yep.
You know. So why would you make a deal with him? You basically you made a covenant with death, and with hell you in agreement. Why would you do that to yourself? Because you want it now. And then when you get it, you like, okay, this ain't really what I thought it was. This really ain't shit.
Too late.
But you done sold your soul already.
Yeah.
Kanye, look at this.
And he literally said it. He said he did it.
Yeah.
You know, in that BT cipher.
Happy deal.
Yeah. But it came with a few toys like a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, cause you got music artists, you know, that aren't as mainstream, but you know they make a decent living for themselves.
Yeah, Drake is
You
talented.
know,
Independent.
yeah, independent. You know, they got shows. They ain't in arenas, but they're still making their living, man. You know, doing what they have to do so they can put food on their table for their family. They ain't sold out and went to the parties and all that madness.
They
So-
go to them, but they don't stay.
Yeah. Right.
They get the invite, but they don't go.
Yeah.
Apostle.
Michael Rubin party, the all white
Right,
parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember the apostle Kabar brought it up. He was talking about fame, and the word it goes into is famine.
Yeah,
Famine. It goes into
famine.
You're starving for
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And it usually ain't just money that you're starving for. You're starving for that attention.
Yep.
Starving for that self-glorification. All these other things. The devil's like, yeah, I got money for all that.
I got everything. I got whatever.
Okay, how much you gonna pay me? Well, all I want is your soul. I'll pay you whatever, whatever you want. But ain't none of that shit any good without your soul. Like what will the scripture say that? What will a man give in exchange for a soul, right?
Yeah.
But got it.
I got one too.
Yeah, if you're an Israelite, man, and you got a huge following behind you, and you got a little money, man. You're a target, man.
Yep.
You know, because Esau, he can have a woman say, oh, he raped me, and he be in fucking
that's
court.
all
You
you
gotta
got.
pay the fucking the lawyers' fees and the settlements and shit. You through, man.
Yep. That's how Esau gets the money back.
Yep.
You think you done made all this money, and they send a demon after you that you think you in love with.
Was that you just talking about Smokey? Smokey Robinson?
Yeah, Smokey Robinson, man. They got a case on Smokey, man.
Yeah.
You know, Smokey Robinson, like what, 80 something? You know? Hey, it's another dude. I think he played in the NBA or something like that.
Yeah.
And he they brought a essay case like 40 years ago on him. I'm like, damn.
Byron Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Come on.
Yeah, Byron Scott, man. They said he was doing something inappropriate with a middle schooler in a janitor's closet in about 1980 something. Something like 85, 80,
40 years ago.
When he was popping with, when he was popping with the Lakers.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, man. They go Bill Cosby your ass, man.
Yep.
They only do it to Jake.
Oh, yeah.
They only do it to Jake.
Because Esau, man, your favorite celebrity Edomite, he did all kind of shit.
He did it all.
He did it all and got away with it.
This is Sirach 10 and 9. He says, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such a one set of his own soul to sell, because while he liveth he casteth away his bowels.
No moral, no integrity. I don't know if the word integrity goes into it. It has to be with your inward parts, your bowels. It's got to go with what really makes you you.
I'll look it up for you. Yeah,
Integrity, integral.
Is
I believe it means to be like complete, morally pure, complete whole.
That's what I'm saying. I wonder, like,
Integrity, let me look at some roots. From enter, whole.
Yep.
French integre, and directly from Latin integritatem, soundness, wholeness, completeness, figuratively pure, correctness, blameless, a sense of wholeness, perfection.
And we're supposed to be blameless in our spiritual selves. We're at fault. We're imperfect in our flesh.